And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. So do me a favor, hit subscribe, watch, comment, keep the comments coming, and share with your friends, because the stupidity, the nonsense, the bullshit, it just doesn't stop. Well, here's the good thing. Trump is headed back to the White House today after an incredibly eventful, if you ask him, trip to the Middle East. Meanwhile, this past week, the media has been focused on Biden rather than highlighting the stupidity that Trump is spewing. On Fox News, they tried to claim that Trump, listen, he's so smart. Trump is so smart during these meetings, whereas Biden fell asleep. Now, you may remember earlier this week, I showed you a clip of Trump dozing off. Here's a photo. Okay, he'll turn around and say, nah, I just closed my eyes. You know, you're taking a quick second. In fact, if you blink, I can get the same thing. Now, the guy dozed off. Now, here's what Fox has been saying. Play that clip.
But when I go through this, and the things that we all saw in public, I don't think anybody can say that they weren't concerned about his abilities. When you look at the June 27th debate, when you look at him falling down, falling asleep, I'm looking at Donald Trump in these meetings in the Middle East, and then I look at the clips of President Biden literally falling asleep in the middle of an international meeting.
Yeah, by the way, what's the point? Joe Biden's not president. Do I think that Joe Biden should have run for the presidency? Absolutely not. Do I think that what he did to Kamala Harris with 90 days to run was wrong? Absolutely yes. Do I think that Kamala should have been the nominee? No, it should have been an open process. That's what I would have thought. Early on, Biden should have left. But here's the deal. We're in 2025 now. We're in May of 2025. It doesn't matter if Joe Biden fell asleep or not. Now, I want to show you what they aren't reporting on. While speaking to American troops in Qatar, I mean, again, it's why I tell you all the time, please subscribe and share with your friends, help to build this community. This stupidity is boundless. While he's speaking to troops in Qatar, Trump rambled about World War II and France while making up a speech that Hitler gave. No, you can't make this shit up. Play the clip.
For World War I, because we won that war too. But think of it, I'm calling. Now, we love France, right? But I think we did a little more to win the war than France did. Do we agree? You know, I don't want to be a wise guy. But when Hitler made his speech at the Eiffel Tower, I would say that wasn't exactly ideal. And I called up the president, Macron, good guy, by the way. Donald, we are celebrating our victory over the Germans. Oh, that's wonderful. No, we don't take credit for what we do. And I said, what the hell? Every country I've spoken to in the last week is celebrating the war but us. Isn't that terrible? So we're going to be doing holidays. But I said, it has to be a working holiday because, you can only do so many of them. We have a lot of holidays. I'm not so sure we should have them, and you don't have to go to work. Our country has to go to work.
I can only imagine what our men and women in uniform standing behind him were thinking at that moment, saying, is this really our commander-in-chief? Could this possibly be one of the stupidest, most nonsensical comments that a president could make while addressing troops? Meanwhile, this trip was supposed to be about foreign trade and policy, but instead, Trump spoke to the UAE president about groceries. No, seriously, about groceries. Play the clip.
Jobs, because to me, the most important jobs, I want jobs. And we have costs are way down. Groceries, they have a term, grocery. It's an old term, but it means basically what you're buying, food. It's a pretty accurate term, but it's an old-fashioned sound. But groceries are down, costs are down, eggs are down. They were, first week they were hitting me with eggs were up 200%, and now they're down to a number that is amazing. We're down 97, 98% from where they were. And everybody, they said, you won't have eggs for Easter. Well, we had everybody had eggs for Easter at a very reasonable price. At the White House, we had our little Easter egg roll, and we had hundreds of thousands of eggs purchased. They said, you have to go out and buy plastic eggs. That didn't work out.
Let me be clear about something, right? First of all, he's speaking to the president of the UAE, who's Muslim. He doesn't give a shit about the Easter egg. Number two, you're telling him about groceries as if this guy, the president of the UAE, like you, Mr. President, you don't do your grocery shopping. Yes, it's an old-fashioned term. It means food that you end up buying. This is all incredibly, incredibly relevant to U.S. policy, to U.S. Middle Eastern policy. You know, maybe if we go ahead and we continue. Oh, by the way, the greatest part is, once again, his numbers are all over the place. First, it was 85% down in the price of eggs, which would have brought a carton of eggs to $50. Now it's 200%, right? And down 97%. The guy makes up numbers like it's going out of style. And I can only imagine what this man must have been thinking. Meanwhile, in Abu Dhabi, business leaders showed Trump a new stadium that they're building in Queens, near Citi Field. And of course, Trump tried to suggest that it's going to be used for the 2028 LA Olympics. Play the clip.
To our airline. And finally, Mr. President, we just signed also the naming rights of the New York City Football Club by Etihad.
Oh, good.
And we're spending over $800 million.
So where is
in
that?
Queens.
Oh, I know the area well.
Yeah.
It's right next to Citi Field.
I grew up in Queens. I know the area very well.
Right next to Citi Field.
Oh, that's great. Wow. That's where they used to fix the cars. And a lot of other things got fixed there. A lot of things. That's a great site. So how many will that hold?
25,000?
It's 25,000.
And is that primarily for soccer?
It's for soccer. And yeah, they'll do concerts there.
Will they be using that in the Olympics?
It will be available to be used.
Yeah, because it's prime,
yeah?
You know, for some of the games.
I mean, Queens, you know.
It's going out to the Met, but it's prime.
It'll be a state-of-the-art stadium. You can see it.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Like we couldn't find a billionaire in America to naming rights for a stadium by Citi Field. Meanwhile, Trump also took the opportunity to speak about the elections that he has won, because nothing says, hey, look at me, I'm president of the United States, and talking about how I got there. Play that clip.
Because, as you know, we won 3 elections, okay? And some people want us to do a 4th. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. You saw the new hat. The hottest hat is, it says, Trump 2028. We're driving the left crazy when you see that. We didn't need that hat, but it's been an amazing period of time.
Yeah, nothing says grift like using your podium in order to hock a hat on something which is unconstitutional. You can't make this shit up. ACYN put together a compilation of Trump speaking about the election while in the Middle East. Now, of course, Trump continues to make up numbers when explaining how many districts he won in comparison to Kamala Harris. Play this clip.
We won everything. We won a thing called that people don't like districts. So in the country, you have districts, thousands of districts. We got 2,750 districts versus 525 districts. Think of that. That's why when you look at a map, it's actually a very important stat. When you look at a map, the map shows it's practically all red, the Republican Party. And very importantly, we won counties throughout the United States, 2,660 to 451. That's why when you look at a map, they're all red. The whole country is red. Red stands for Republican. We won 2,750 districts. We call them districts. Out of a total, if you look at the number, it was 2,750 to 505. The whole map was red, red meaning Republican. We won the counties throughout the United States, 2,660 to 451. That's why when you see the maps, they're all bright red, red meaning Republican. We won all 7 swing states. We won the popular vote by a lot. We won the counties by 2,725 to 505. That's why the map is completely red. When you look at it, the map, it was an obliteration, this election.
Yeah. It's a good thing that he's got his numbers down straight, right? Meanwhile, Trump also spoke about how we're going to see new trade deals in the next 2 weeks. Trump can't meet with everyone, but he had to prioritize the Middle East. Play that clip.
We just reached a fantastic trade deal, as you know, with the United Kingdom, which was wonderful. And we have another big one that we just reached with China. The China deal is a very big deal. It's in the process of continuing to be formed. But they wanted to make that deal very badly. And we have, at the same time, 150 countries that want to make a deal, but you're not able to see that many countries. So at a certain point over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I think Scott and Howard will be sending letters out, essentially telling people, it would be very fair, but we'll be telling people what they'll be paying to do business in the United States. So essentially be paying to be doing business in the United States. I guess you could say they could appeal it, but for the most part, I think we're going to be very fair. But it's not possible to meet the number of people that want to see us. And but this was coming to UAE was very important. Coming to Saudi Arabia and Qatar was very important to me because of personal relationships that I had, maybe more than anything else.
Yeah, that in an airplane. Meanwhile, lastly, Trump spoke about how there's never been anything like what is happening now in the United States. Never, ever. Like you've never seen before. Play the clip.
And I said, just build your plant inside the United States and you have no tariffs. And that's exactly what they're doing. And that's what many, many companies are doing, the auto companies, all of them. There's never been anything like what's happening right now to the United States, I can tell you. Nothing. There's never been anything like it. We're at a level that no country has seen, I don't believe. We have, every time I meet, I usually increase it by about $1 trillion because we get news of another investment, but we're probably in the 12 to $13 trillion range of investments. And
wait, 12 to 13 trillion. Wow. By the way, why are you coming back to DC, Mr. President? Stay over there. Go to Japan next. Go to China. Go to Nigeria for all I care. Bring back the trillions. Meanwhile, the only thing so far that we know to be accurate coming out of your mouth, it reminds me so much of what I wrote about in my book, Disloyal, and then another book called Revenge, which is where he would say to me, I'm worth $7 billion. In fact, I'm probably worth 9 or even 10, right? Maybe I'm worth 10 billion. He comes up, now it's not B's anymore. Now it's T's for trillion. He keeps making up numbers. The only so far partial accurate statement is the fact that Saudi Arabia wants to buy a whole bunch of airplanes from Boeing for like $200 billion or something like that. 200 billion is a far cry from 11 or 12 trillion dollars. It is so bullshit. It's just him making stuff up and selling it or trying to sell it to the American people. Here's the problem. There's a whole slew of people that buy whatever it is that he say. And that's why I turn around and I say, help me to build this community so we could drown this stupidity out. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. We're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.